Hey, what's up guys? Bobby Basking sign in here. Today I want to do a quick video on a cheap yet effective GoPro mount. With just some household items and some cheap stuff from a hardware store. You can make a mount that's just as good as any of those 30, 40, 50, even $60 mounts that you see online. And they're great mounts and stuff, but I just don't have the money to spend, on mounts like that, and I can't really justify it when I could spend $5 on a mount I can make on my own and spend 30 or 40 on tackle or saber or something like that. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make a really simple clamp here, a really simple mount for your GoPro or even maybe your camera, whatever camera you use really. So excuse the dirty workbench I've been cleaning up in here, but let's get at it. I'll show you guys how to do this. Okay guys, so the things you'll need. First and foremost, you are going to need a spring clamp. This is a 2-inch spring clamp that I picked up from Harbor Freight. I realize every state now might have a Harbor Freight, but it's kind of a local hardware store here in Texas, or at least here in Houston. They sell pretty much almost every tool you could think of, even really big equipment, from table saws, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of their stuff's really cheap. So this 2-inch spring clamp here was, I think, $3 or so, and it's heavy duty. So you're going to need one of those. You're going to need, unfortunately I don't have the specs on this bolt, but you will need a bolt that fits your GoPro mount or your camera mount, whatever you're using, whatever video camera or digital camera you're going to be using. Make sure that the screw you have fits in your mount, and I would say no more. I wouldn't get a screw that's more than about, probably, let's see here, about an inch. I wouldn't get anything bigger than an inch. You want to make sure that your bolt's going to be long enough to fit through your clamp all the way to screw into your camera mount. So make sure it's long enough to fit through there, but not too long to where you have too much excess. You don't want that. So you got your clamp, you got your bolt. I have here an assortment of, here I'm going to pull you guys down here for a second, an assortment of washers here. You can see just the stuff that I found at the house, and the reason you're going to need those obviously is for spacing in between your camera mount and the bolt, obviously, because if you have too much bolt, then your camera's just going to spin on the bolt and there's not going to be anything to stop it. So you want to fill in that gap, so that's what I've got the washers there for. Then I've also got here, I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with here, it's just a wing nut. So this wing nut here is to fit on the end of this bolt. The reason I've got that is for when you're storing your clamp, you can keep your bolt, your washer, keep everything together. You just throw that little wing nut on the end, and you don't have to worry about anything falling off or getting lost or anything like that. And when you want to put your camera on, you take the wing nut off, put your camera on. When you take your camera off, put your wing nut on, and you're good to go. So first things first, you're going to take your clamp. I've got over here, I've got my drill. I already have this drilled out because I've already used it, but for video purposes I'm just going to demonstrate what I've done. So you're going to pick whichever side you want. I went down on this clamp, let's see here, I went about an inch down and put the hole for the bolt. You could probably go a little more, maybe an inch and a half or so, just to make sure you give yourself good grip and you're not too close to the top of the handle. But I'd go down about an inch, maybe an inch and a half. Simply, like I said, I've already got this drilled, but you're going to go ahead and drill through. Okay, you're going to drill through your handle. Make sure it's bored enough to fit your bolt. Now don't make it, what I've done too is I've taken a drill bit that's just a little bit wider than this bolt. So grab your drill bits, put the end up to one, and make sure that the threads on that bit are just a little bit wider than your screw here. Once you've got that hole bored, you're going to take your clamp. Obviously your camera is going to sit on this side. What I'm going to do here, I've already spaced this out for my own terms, and you're going to have to experiment a little bit with washers and everything, but I've got 2 washers here. Caught it. Take the bolt. Pretty simple. Got it. Those 2 washers. Take my clamp. And I recommend leave this rubber piece on, because it kind of helps your bolt thread in there and kind of get stuck, which you kind of want. So you can see I'm going to push that through there. So now I've got the bolt through the end of the clamp. And then what I'm going to do here is I've got 2 more washers that happen to be the right spacing that I need for for my mount. And I'm going to put those 2 washers on the end there, as you can see. And then what we would do here is I thread this wing nut on. There, I've got my compact little clamp. This, all in all, is probably under $5 to make. If you've got things like this at your house, you might even be able to make it for free. The beauty of this thing is, now I'm filming with my GoPro now, but imagine that my GoPro is attached. So the GoPro is sitting here and it's facing out. So it's filming out. As if I was filming towards you, my GoPro would be facing that way. You can take this clamp and put it on anything and be like, oh, well, here's a cool angle here. There you go. Twist your camera. Now you can shoot that way. Or, what I do is when I'm out on the bayou, I'll show you just a quick demonstration. So, this is for demonstration purposes only. Say this was, basically if I was using a piece of wood that was sharpened down at one end, I would take it, I would shove it down in the grass, take my mount, put it on the top end, and that piece of wood, mine's only about 1 foot long. So my piece of wood is stuck down in the grass, and I've got my camera on my mount, boom, that easy. Okay, oh, sorry, the bolt's facing the wrong way. Boom, that easy, okay? Maybe I want to get a camera shot down close to the water's edge, so I've got my piece of wood sticking up, maybe I'm just going to clamp it right here. Okay, and now I can film out that way. So that's kind of the beauty of this clamp, is that anywhere you can fit this clamp on, you can film with. And like I said, you know, I just keep it in my tackle bag. I mean, you know, it doesn't weigh but, I don't know, 10, 12 ounces, and fits in my bag easy. I don't really notice it's there, and if ever I don't want to wear my hat cam, all I gotta do is pull this out, take out the piece of wood I carry with me, shove the piece of wood in the ground, stick this on, boom. You can even use a little pole holder if you got one, shove it in the ground, put the clamp on. But I mean, this is good for just home uses too. If you do vlogs or any kind of instructional videos or something, and you just, you know, say I had, if you check this out over here, say I had some plywood right here, or I had some plywood back behind my workbench that I wanted to film from, all I gotta do is take this, bam. I mean, that's solid. That's not gonna, you know, and it cost me almost nothing to make. So that's really the kind of beauty of home projects like this, is just, you know, you find something that works, put in a little time, put in a little thinking, a little brainstorming, and you can come up with a really clever invention for a whole heck of a lot cheaper than you're going to buy at a big department store or online. So it's just a quick way to save money, a simple DIY for you guys out there. If you have any kind of hand tools and a little bit of mechanical sense, you can make this easy. It's not hard at all. So hope you like that. I hope that helps. Stay tuned for more. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you subscribing. And tight lines, friends. Take care.